What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build Cool Shit again. Today, it's back to work on our 1986 Honda Helix CN250. And in this episode, I'm hoping to get as much of the electrical taken care of as possible. Well, I just want to get the electrical working. So, I've got this whole mess of wires everywhere, and the big problem is that nothing I bought is just plug and play. So I have to figure out what wires go where. None of the colors match anything. So I'm literally testing and it's real slow going. And to make everything even more complicated, I moved everything from the front to the back. So now I need to figure out how everything goes. But before I just start running everything all nice and neat, I want to just go through and make sure everything's working together. So I'm just going to try to cut what I have to cut and wire everything up. So hopefully we should have turn signals working, brake lights, tail lights. I just want to get it all. Maybe even get our fan. Who knows? But it's gonna be very time consuming, so it's just gonna be a lot of time lapses. If this all goes smoothly, maybe we'll move on to cutting off some of the tabs and stuff that are all over this bike, but I'm just not sure we're gonna get that far. But before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. This thing's almost done, and you're not gonna wanna miss out when we're on the road with it. But with all that being said, let's get started. It's now the next day. So last night I went wild and I got everything all figured out with this wiring harness. So now headlights are working, I got horn, turn signals, brake lights, running lights. I have everything working. Even the fan on the radiator's working, but the wiring is just an absolute mess now. But now I know where everything goes, so it'll make it a lot easier to clean it all up. And I just need to figure out where a few things are gonna live now that everything's kind of wired up. Unfortunately, while I was filming it last night, the battery died at some point, and I was just in the zone and just kept on going. So it is what it is, but we got as much taken care of as we possibly could. So now I think we're gonna go ahead and mount our gauge on here, and I'll wire that in at a later date. And then I want to start cutting off some tabs and possibly cut out our tab for our e-brake mount and maybe even get that mounted up as well. So I'm gonna get you guys all set up and we'll tear back into this thing. So with all that being said, let's keep going. after a few late nights, we managed to get a ton done on this thing. We got our electrical all figured out and everything's all working now. It may be a mess and I'm gonna have to go over it again, but it is working, so that's definitely a step in the right direction. We also relocated our e-brake handle down underneath here, so now it's underneath the rear of the frame. I see a lot of people, it looks like they just get rid of it, but I wanted to keep this since it has a CVT. I can't just put it in gear and keep it from rolling down a hill, so that'll be nice to still have on here. We also cut and ground most of the tabs that were all over this frame. I'm sure there's still some that I missed, but we got a ton of them off of here. And we even got our gauge mounted up there. So now I just need to wire that puppy in and that'll be working as well. So then in the next episode, I'd like to go through and finally get our floorboards on here, but I'm still waiting on tools and stuff for that. So we'll see. I may just be working on the electrical off camera. I do have to do a few other things. I'm gonna get real busy, so this may push this thing on the back burner. So I may go to every other week. Who knows? We'll see how it all goes. But before we get out of here, let's go ahead and smash that like and subscribe button so we can keep on building cool shit. This thing's gonna be done in no time, and we're gonna do some writing before we start our next build, cause I need to go through, test this thing out, and just enjoy the builds for once. But with all that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace!